Welcome to another Science Exploration Mild. A router is the device that connects your home or office to the internet and distributes that internet connection to phones, laptops, TVs, tablets, and other devices. Today, we're going to explore all about it in our session, How Does Routers Work? Right from the internet signals to Wi-Fi in your home. And we'll also see what are the energy conversions that take place in there.
So let's officially meet your router. I want you to think of this little box as a super fast, really friendly traffic controller for your entire home. It's the boss that decides exactly where all that internet data needs to go so everyone stays connected.
But how does it all start? Well, first, the internet arrives. Way before your router can even get to work, data has to travel from your internet service provider. It zips through fiber optic lines, TV cables, or even phone lines, making its way right up to your house.
And right at the start, boom, we see our very first magical energy conversion. You see, depending on how the internet traveled to your neighborhood, that information might arrive as flashes of light in a fiber optic cable, or maybe as outside radio signals. But here's the thing, your router speaks the language of electricity. So those incoming light or radio signals are actually transformed into electrical signals that your router can finally understand. It is literal science in action, right there in your living room.
Now let's peek at what happens inside. Information doesn't just plop into your router in one giant, heavy chunk. Nope, it comes in millions of tiny pieces called packets. Imagine you're trying to watch a super fun YouTube video. That single video is chopped up into thousands of these little packets. Each packet carries a tiny bit of the video, plus a very important address label telling the router exactly where it came from and, more importantly, where it needs to go.
Which brings us to the data post office. Yep, your router is basically a bustling, high-speed post office. It sorts through millions of these data packets to ensure the right information gets to the right screen.
To keep all of this organized, the router actually gives every single connected device its own local address. It's kind of like a house number. For example, your mom's phone might get the address 192.168.1.2, and your laptop might be ending in .3. This is exactly how the router knows which room and which screen to send those incoming packets to.
Now you might be wondering, how on earth does it tell all these different devices apart in the first place? Well, every single device has a unique, permanent identifier built right into it. It's called a MAC address. Your router is incredibly smart, so it keeps a special table in its memory matching the MAC address of your tablet directly to its local house number. That way, it absolutely guarantees your laptop gets the email it asked for, while the living room TV gets the Netflix movie. No mix-ups, ever.
All right, now for the really fun part, creating Wi-Fi magic. If we looked deep inside the router, we'd find tiny radio transmitters and receivers. They're prepping to broadcast the internet straight through the air. Also, you don't have to be glued to the wall with a wire.
And here is our second amazing science trick, another energy conversion. The router actually takes the electrical energy running through its circuits and converts it into radio wave energy. It literally turns digital information into invisible, flying waves that shoot out of the antennas. They travel right through the air and, yep, even right through the solid walls of your house, just to reach your devices.
You've probably noticed your router has a couple of different Wi-Fi options, right? Like 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. So why are there different Wi-Fi bands? Think of them as invisible highways in the sky. The 2.4 gigahertz highway is a little slower, but the waves can travel really far and they easily bust through walls. The 5 gigahertz and the newer 6 gigahertz highways are incredibly fast, like VIP express lanes. But they have a shorter range and honestly, they kind of hate going through walls. The router's antennas help push all your traffic onto these different highways perfectly.
So, these invisible radio waves are zipping all over your house. But how does your phone actually show you a video from them? Well, your phone has its own tiny antenna hidden inside. It catches those flying radio waves and does another cool energy conversion. It turns the radio waves right back into electrical signals. Your phone's processor then decodes those electrical signals and boom, the web page, the message, or that funny cat video appears right there on your screen.
And of course, this is all about two-way communication. This whole magical journey happens in reverse too. Like when you type a Google search, your phone shoots its own radio waves back to the router to send your question out to the wider internet.
Let's just trace that complete data journey for a second, because it is truly mind-blowing how fast it happens. When you tap play on a video, the data starts at a massive server, miles and miles away. It travels across the internet to your ISP, zips through cables directly to your home,
enters your router, gets transformed into a Wi-Fi signal, flies to the air to your phone, and finally, the video appears. And guess what? That entire round trip, it happens in just a tiny fraction of a second.
Let's shift gears and talk about energy and electricity. Inside that little plastic box are some serious computer parts. We're talking a CPU and RAM. And that is exactly why your router needs to be plugged into the wall. It needs that electrical muscle to power its antennas.
Actually, if you ever touched your router, you might have noticed it feels kind of warm. So why does the router get warm? Well, remember our super busy data post office? The processor inside your router is receiving packets, reading labels, and making routing decisions thousands, sometimes millions of times every single second. It literally never takes a break. All of that nonstop electronic processing is incredibly hard work.
Which brings us to our final energy conversion. Because the processor is working so hard, churning through millions of pieces of data, some of that electrical energy is naturally released as heat energy. A router doesn't use energy to make sound like a radio or motion like a fan. Its main gig is pure information transmission. But just like you get sweaty and warm when you're running around the playground, the router's electronics get warm when they run around processing all that data.
To sum it all up, your router is an absolutely amazing device. It works by grabbing internet data from the outside world, figuring out exactly which of your devices asked for it, magically converting that information into Wi-Fi radio signals, and then broadcasting them through the air so all your screens can connect wirelessly. It's a non-stop, super-fast traffic controller, bringing the entire world right to you. If you find the video informative, please like and subscribe. Thanks.